Hello, good morning, happy Thursday. I think it is Thursday. Is it Thursday? It's happy Thursday. How are you doing? Happy birthday, everybody. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Remember, every day is your birthday. It's the first day of the rest of your life, of course it is. Yeah. Okay, so I missed yesterday. I had a bad day yesterday. This is kind of one of those videos where... confession time, I guess you could say, when I expose a little bit of not quite perfectness. I mean, a lot of people see these videos and think I'm joyous all the time. Actually, somebody asked me a couple of days ago, how come you're always so bubbly and lively? And I'm like, yeah, well, that's not always the case. It is the case when I'm doing these, because I do love doing these, and I do love making people happy and giving value, which is going to come on to in a moment. And in fact, my good friend Anna, hello Anna, how you doing? In Hungary, just asked me how do I stay so productive during these weird times. I'm not sure she was asking me specifically how I stay more productive, but just in general how we stay more productive. But it did make me think how the impression that you can get from just seeing a small amount of somebody's life, and you miss out all the other bits and pieces. Which is why I always say to people, don't compare. Which is exactly what I've done. We'll come on to that in a second as well. Don't compare your behind-the-scenes footage with everybody else's highlights reels, because when you're looking at other people's... by the way, it's freezing cold at the moment, so that's why I've still got the gloves on and still keeping the hat on, because otherwise it's going to get too cold. Just seen a squirrel jump from the fence into the tree. It's quite fun. Yeah, don't compare your behind-the-scenes footage, blooper reel, to everybody else's highlights reels, because everybody on Facebook is putting forward kind of the best parts of themselves. And even if they're not putting out the best parts of themselves, they're only putting past the parts that they are willing to allow the rest of the world to see. And there's always bits of our lives that are hidden that we don't show the rest of the world in general. But of course, we get to see every single second of our lives, every single painful part of our lives, and so when we compare it to somebody else's facade, and oh, hello Adele, didn't see you come on. When we compare ourselves to everybody else's perfect facades that we're seeing on Facebook, social media, it's very hard for us to recognise that is just a facade. But, and here's the key thing, here's the thing I always tell people, is if you think about the other person and what they're seeing on your Facebook feed, you are putting forward a facade, a mask on your life to the other person. So this person who you're idolising and saying, look at their perfect life, I wish my life was perfect just like theirs, because all you're seeing is their social media feed and their perfect life. Don't forget, they're probably sitting at home on their social media platform looking at your social media feed and also thinking to themselves, I wish my life was as perfect as theirs. So for me, for example, if I take it into my seat, or Adele's here, Adele's on here, I'll take Adele. Hello Tom, by the way, I can see you on as well. I'll use Adele as an example because she's given me some love hearts, so she obviously gets it, so it's not like I'm feeling like I'm picking on her too much. Adele looks at my life, thinks John's life is perfect. I look at Adele's life on her Facebook feed and I think, oh, I wish my life was as amazing as Adele's life, because she goes all these fun things and does all this fun stuff and hangs out with these really cool people. I don't know, I haven't looked at your feed for a while, Adele, but you get the idea. Is I'm looking at your feed and I'm seeing all the highlights reels of your stuff, and it's just amazing. And I'm thinking to myself, God, I wish my life was more fun, like Adele's life. And we're all doing it. We're all doing it. So we just have to recognise that. Hi, Tom. So I said hi. I already done. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of part of my message from today. I haven't said hello. Haven't said happy birthday to all the people who are on the tagged. I will do that in a moment. So happy birthday to all of you people. I'm going to come on to you in a second. But this is a really important message, so I want to get this done first. The video of today, which is in the links, actually it's not the video of the day, but it's the third one down on my normal page, but I've linked it directly in the comments, which is the formula, actually. Happiness equals excitement plus fulfillment. That is that's the description I put above the video, and it's Evan Carmichael. A little clip from Warren Buffett initially. And then he talks about this concept of that happiness is excitement plus fulfillment. And he's right. Excitement is these short-term highs, these goals, these reaching a goal, just going fantastic. He talks about it like it's like eating a donut. You really have this really fantastic high of eating this donut, but eating donuts will not sustain you long term. You can't eat that as the sole food going forward. It won't do you any good. But it's a really nice high in the short term. What you need is fulfillment. You need nutritious food to eat every single day to keep your body going. And it's the same sort of thing in life. We need that fulfillment. We need that sense of achievement and doing good and helping other people in our lives to achieve that happiness. I always talk about happiness being the gap between, or inversely proportional to the gap between where your life is and where you want your life to be. So this gap here, if this gap is too big, you feel miserable because you think, I want my life to be up here, whereas actually my life's down here. And if this gap is like tiny, like there's no fulfillment, you might be happy, you might be okay with your life, but you're not achieving anything, you're not striving for anything. That might be okay, you might be happy with that, and that's absolutely fine. Because obviously you get to that point, eventually you go, you know what, I'm just happy with my life, that's okay, that's cool. But typically most people will want to try and achieve something. They want to try and achieve goals, they want to get that sense of fulfillment, that sense of achievement and success in their lives to drive them forward and keep them going forward. And this is what I lost yesterday. I lost sense of perspective, I guess. These things happen. I saw John Assaraf, in fact. Well, it wasn't so much I saw John Assaraf. I ordered his book. Really good book, by the way. But don't go and order it. And I'll tell you why in a second. I ordered his book and I started flicking through his book and I realised, hang on a minute, everything that's in John Assaraf's book is the stuff that I teach people. I just somehow teach it better, I think. Not necessarily better, but in a different way, in a John way, in a John specific way. But it's really frustrating to see somebody who has achieved a lot and has a company and has websites that look all nice and cool and flashy and fancy. And I lost track of where I am in my journey, and I'm not there yet. And I just got really frustrated and felt down. I saw my good friend Emma Watson, and I looked at her website. I was like, oh my God, that looks really cool, looks fancy. And I remember talking to her about getting online courses and so forth up and running a couple of years ago. And it was lovely to see. But it made me feel like I haven't made as much progress, because I remember trying to help her move forward with her business a couple of years ago, and now she's done it and I haven't moved forward, and it was a bit frustrating for me. And so I fell into a bit of a flump yesterday. But what I then did is I used all the tools that I would teach people to get myself out of that flump. So that's what I did. I took 24 hours and just said, right, do you know what? I'm just going to focus on me for 24 hours, and my personal development, my self-care for a day. And that's what I did yesterday. So I took the day off and just said, right, you know what, I'm just going to sit in bed and watch TV and just talk to a few people, reach out to a couple of people who can help me, see perspective. So I spoke to my friend Valentina, who's currently in Norway. She's just moved back from Bratislava. I spoke to my mentor Vicky, and a couple of other people anyway, so it was fantastic. So anyway, so that's my message of the day. Make sure that you feel like you're fulfilling, you're doing something that's fulfillment. Now I do these every day and it does make me feel a little bit fulfilled, but sometimes when I don't get, and I think that's what happened a couple of days ago, is I didn't get enough people viewing it, and that makes me feel like my message is falling onto deaf ears. And actually my message a couple of days ago was a little bit, I was talking about disease and stuff, and it wasn't really my normal thing about mental health stuff, and so it didn't feel like I was really kind of nailing what I do normally, and so it just felt a bit like it's just a couple of things happened and just slid down a little bit, and that's where that came from. Anyway, happy birthdays. Let's go through the happy birthdays. Let's end on the happy birthdays, shall we? Happy birthday to Louise and Kerry. Great girls. Love you both. Kerry helped me with my terms and conditions, and Louise has helped me with a couple of things mentally over the years, and also made me feel loved as well a couple of times, so that's been fantastic. I also went to Glastonbury tour with Louise, took a little sort of road trip down the road. That was very cool. I really enjoyed that, because she's from Glastonbury originally, I think is what she said. Anyway, and then obviously I need to get these courses up and running for people to help them with overcoming depression and anxiety and understanding why their mind works the way it works, and how to overcome that and reprogram it so that they can feel better on a daily basis. And do the stuff that I did yesterday to make myself feel much better today than I was yesterday when I was feeling a bit miserable. So anyway, that's all from me. Take care. Love you all. Mwah. Have a lovely Thursday. Take care. Bye.